Hey everybody, KC here. So I was reading an interesting piece in Marketing Daily the other day about StitchFix, the personal styling service, and how basically StitchFix has problems. Sales are down, customer count is down, per customer spending is down, and profits are down, although profits aren't down quite as much as people expected. And CEO Matt Baer is basically trying to craft a solution. He's trying to do retail transformation. He says we must think differently, work differently, and approach our business differently. I don't doubt his sincerity, and I don't doubt his talent. Although if I had a nickel for every time I heard a CEO say that, I'd have a lot of nickels in my pocket. Anyway, one of the things they're trying to do is strengthen best practices. They're trying to target higher value clients to build a healthier base and develop new strategies. Again, if I had a nickel for every time I've heard a CEO say that, I'd have a lot of nickels. The problem is that the old strategies at StitchFix just aren't working. Originally, the idea was that you'd have them sending you a package of clothing on a regular basis, and you could only keep what you wanted. If you kept the whole thing, you got a discount. And they would continue to do this. And the idea was that as you sent more stuff back or kept certain kinds of things, they'd learn more about you and would be able to better target what you liked and what you didn't like, and you'd keep more over the long term. And basically, they had customized their offerings using data. Again, what a lot of retailers try and do. You know, my experience with StitchFix, I used them for a while, and I just didn't like very much that they sent me. So I was always sending stuff back. Although the one thing I really did like is they introduced me to a brand of jeans called Mavi. And I like Mavi jeans very much. I like the fit. I like the way they wore, that sort of thing. And I would always wear Mavi jeans when I was giving speeches, right? Put a sport coat and a shirt. And it was great. Anyway, I stopped using StitchFix. I started ordering Mavi directly. So thanks a lot, StitchFix. Good for Mavi, but not really good for StitchFix's business, right? They basically got disenfranchised out of the relationship. Then StitchFix decided what they were going to do is they were going to allow people to bypass the subscription business and just buy what they wanted when they wanted, but that didn't seem to work out either. Now they're saying private label is going to be the next savior. Now, close to half their sales are private label, and they'd like to get that a lot higher, but I'm not even sure customers realize what's the things that are private label, because I think they're using a lot of different names. Now, what's interesting about that is, there's some precedent to this. This is what Gap did right? They transformed themselves from just a store that carried Levi's. Under Mickey Drexler, they decided what they're going to do is everything was going to be private label. And they were enormously successful doing that for a long, long time. There have been some potholes in the more recent past, but basically, Gap as an entity embraced the whole idea of private label. See, to me, the problem is that Stitch Fix just isn't a brand. It's not perceived as being a brand. It's perceived as being a service provider and a gateway to other brands. And I think that's a risky place to be when you're only perceived as a place that carries other people's brands, promotes other people's brands, at least if that's perception. Even if you're doing private label, that's just not a good idea. You want to represent something that's only available at you. It's true in the fashion business, but I also think it's true in the food business, right? If your store is perceived as only as a place that basically warehouses other people's brands, it does not put you in a very defensible position. Doesn't mean you can't carry other people's brands, but your name and your brand has to stand for something. It has to be both tangible and intangible. You have to be that different. Otherwise, if you don't do that, well, you're just stitching together short-term solutions, and you're not really fixing anything. That's what's on my mind, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.